Welcome to Currency Call. I'm Shivani Muthana. Let's begin with a check on the single currency in Europe. That's the euro, of course. On a broad note, it has fallen on the back of a sell-off in European shares, but that's the euro versus dollar right now. The euro recovering very marginally at this point in time. But earlier in the day, you saw the currency shed more than 1% against the Swiss franc. And of course, the market sentiment remains jittery over the state of the banks in the eurozone. That's the euro dollar for you right now. Meanwhile, the dollar remains supported on the back of euro losses though the index is trading marginally lower at this point in time, but largely flat against a basket of currencies. In Asia, the Indian rupee has slid to its lowest in over 6 months as local markets here as well slumped. You saw a crack of over 2% on the Lal Street. The dollar demand from oil importers is also weighing on the rupee. Well, let's keep the focus on currencies. Get in our special analyst, Pramit Brahmbhatt, CEO of Alpari Forex. He joins us on a link from Ahmedabad. Now, Mr. Brahmbhatt, if you can take us through your views on the rupee first as we look at global economic uncertainty, how do you believe the currency will trend?
Hi Shivani. With rupee, definitely what we have seen is more to do with the domestic demands rather than the international effects. There are two factors to consider, as you have said, that oil importers' demand for dollar is also there, as well as the domestic equity market has slumped. So these are the two factors making effect on the weakness of rupee. But it seems that this weakness is a temporary, and as soon as some of the purchase pressure move away from the dollar, we will see rupee will come back to the earlier lows of 44.50 range.
Right. What's your view on the euro? Because we are looking at it giving up gains for the past few sessions, has been trading lower. Do you see the euro below 1.4 as the contagion fears really escalate, or do you believe overall the euro has been resilient?
Well, 1.40 is a very important mark, and looking at the conditions from both the sides of in the eurozone as well as in US, it doesn't seem that it's going to breach 1.40 level, because there is no strength coming from the dollar side to push it below 1.40 level. So it is going to remain in the lower range of 1.41, 1.42.
Right. Let's talk essentially about commodity currencies. Given the current sell-off in the commodity markets, how are you viewing that segment?
Well, what we have seen in the last week or so is a pressure coming as a knee-jerk reaction after S&P cutting of the US rating. And as a part of that, it's a very obvious move that there will be commodity currencies will come down due to expectation of less use of the commodities because of the weak economic areas, especially in US and in Europe. So that's why the pressure is coming there. But as soon as the market recovers from the sentiments, we will see the currencies will bounce back, especially currencies like Aussie dollar and the Indian rupee will have a better move going ahead.
Right, Pramit, also a quick word on the intervention approach on safe haven currencies like the yen and Swiss franc. So far, it hasn't really had too much an effect on the Swiss franc. Rather, there has been talk of pegging the franc to the euro. Do you actually see that happening?
Actually, both these countries are using a kind of rumors to get some sort of depreciation in the currency. If you see, there was a intervention by Japanese Bank of Japan, and at that time we saw that Japanese yen moved back to 80 level. Unfortunately for them, straight after that couple of days, S&P cut the rating for US, and yen is again back at around 76 level. So that didn't work. So after that, they started using the different approach where instead of doing the intervention, they are talking more about the intervention and would like to move the currency on the downside before they actually come and do some intervention. Last week also we saw that for Japanese yen there was a spike came when the Bank of Japan was talking to the different dealers, talking about the intervention. But it seems that the intervention is not helping these countries.
Right, and that of course is obvious from the dollar versus yen and Swiss franc on your screens right now. Pramit Brahmbhatt, many thanks for joining us with your perspective there on the currency markets. That wraps it up here on Currency Call as well. Do stay with us for the latest business headlines.